Do you feel the vibes?
Hey YouTube, welcome back to Love for Crypto. Today it's another Ripple update with the news and the latest around what's happening with Ripple themselves. So today we'll jump straight into it. First of all, what we've got a couple of news articles that have recently blossomed in the media recently. And we're also going to go over, which is my own personal vision and view of exactly what is happening with Ripple at the moment. In respect to obviously bearable guys dropping hints left, right and centre, try to encourage the Ripple followers to stay motivated in what Ripple are trying to achieve. So first of all, we'll just go over a few little things recently. So Santander, as you all probably already know, on Friday they launched a OnePay FX launch, which is obviously integrating Ripple's technology. We did actually speak about this ourselves on the 12th of February. This is when obviously Santander announced it was releasing an app that was powered by Ripple in Q1 this year, and obviously, as we can see, that's obviously escalated and followed through, which is great news. The interesting thing about this at the moment, OnePay FX, it's downloadable on Apple, which again is also fantastic news. As we all know, Apple have just integrated Ripple's technology now into Apple Pay, which is absolutely massive stuff. We'll talk about that in quite a little second, because first of all, everybody's saying that X-Current, it's only X-Current. As you can see in here on Santander, on their Twitter accounts themselves, they've actually said the bank will add more features in the coming months, including offering instant international payments in several markets before the summer. We all know as Ripple followers, instant payments can only mean one thing, and it is XRP. That's the only way that we can actually settle payments in instantaneous reaction, if you want to call it that, which is the 4 seconds, which is obviously going to be downgraded down to 1 second further on down the line. It's great. So obviously it shows Santander, 18th largest bank in the world, are now actually integrating Ripple. They've been working with them for a long time. They promised that they'd roll out the app in Q1, which they have done. And now obviously we're getting a statement from themselves that are saying that we'll be offering instant international payments. This is undoubtedly going to involve XRP itself as the currency in order to settle the transactions. It has to use XRapid as the exchange process. Currently at the moment on Santander, I think it's around 45 seconds average per close. It's still same day transaction, but it's 45 seconds using only X-Current. With XRapid, they can use the exchange process, which is the XRapid for Ripple. So obviously with X-Current, it integrates using Ripple's technology. But then if they want to use XRapid, like I say, it's only a flick of the switch. And this really will be happening before summer. This will be the first bank in the entire world that will be using XRP itself, not just X-Current. It's absolutely fucking massive news. We all knew it was coming. We all knew what was happening. So yeah, that's obviously a little touch up on Apple there, Santander. Going on to Apple now. Apple have integrated into Ledger technology. Apple, one of the biggest companies in the world, especially the leading in respect of mobile payments. They was the first to ever introduce such a thing with Apple Pay. Now Apple Pay have integrated the Ripple technology. It doesn't take a genius to work out what's going to come next. The Ripple effect is happening. It is happening right this second in time. It's unbelievable. You know, we've been speaking about Ripple for a while. There's a lot of people in the community that are speaking about Ripple. I want to give a big shout out to Teenage Investor, aka Alex Cobb. What a fucking fantastic guy he is. He's on this shit day in, day out. Myself personally, you know, I've got a job, I've got a family. It's not as easy for me to keep up to date daily, but I'm always going to continually keep putting my views in, as I believe every other person's view is valuable to other people in that respect. Again, Apple using Ripple. This is going to open a fucking bombshell of use of these. We've got Apple implemented in our phones. We've got Apples that can accept payments in stores via contactless. Ripple can be integrated into this now. There's no need to add new technology to stores. We've got it all on our phones. We've got it all in the stores. Ripple is going to take over the fucking world, people. It is happening. You need to get on it very quickly, because I mean, I'm not a financial advisor in any way, shape or form, but also I'm not necessarily a genius, but it doesn't take a genius to figure out what is happening in the world in respect to global transactions. So obviously touching up on the bearable guy himself, what a character. He's throwing tweets out left, right and centre. I just want to put my own personal view on this. I think a lot of people may be missing exactly what is happening. We've got this recent picture of David Schwartz, obviously, and this is down with Swift. It's been decoded as, you know, we've got a lot of stuff, yes, coming through his channel. And then obviously we've got the castle picture, which got everybody going wild. I mean, I'm trying to fucking find it. It's been putting it on. It's got people going wild in the Ripple community, exactly what this means. I put my own little personal touch to it. Obviously, this is the picture we've all been talking about. We've got the manipulation, obviously, with the puppet. And we've got XRP at the top, BTC, USD. What does it all mean? Everything's starting to be pieced together at the moment, which is incredible. There was another picture that I put where it's shown two people shaking hands as if to say the deal has been made. The deal has been made, which, you know, what deal has been made, what people keep on saying. People keep saying what deal has been made and all this. You know, this is, like I say, it's a big fucking mindfuck, but I'm going to put my personal view on it right now. And this is going to fucking blow a lot of people away if they actually do believe what I'm saying in that respect. So what I'll do is I'm just going to load up Swift's page on Twitter. Sorry, I should have had this preloaded. If you can hear a bit of background noise, I just want to say I'm in work doing this. I'm in my van. Obviously I'm parked up in my van, but I need my van running for the job that I'm doing. So if there is a bit of background noise, I do apologise for that. But leading on to what I was saying, there's been some big massive stuff that's come out here with Swift. And this is it right here. Banks who use Swift to send payment instructions will need to change their interfaces and business systems before November 2018. My take on this now, Ripple are doing what they're doing. They've got banks on board. They've got Santander rolling out live. We've got Western Union. We've got MoneyGram that are trialing, which undoubtedly will be going live shortly. In the meantime, we've got Walmart that are partnered with MoneyGram that will be releasing their Walmart to World, offering payments to over 200 different locations worldwide on the same day payments. Again, it doesn't take a genius to work out what's happening, but my personal taste and touch of what I had here with the bearable guy Riddle is entirely down to Swift. Banks who use Swift to send payment instructions will need to change their interfaces and business systems before November 2018. Now, obviously, we've got, in respect to Bearable Guy saying the end of Swift is near, they've got the handshake. I personally believe Swift are a powerhouse. They've had full monopoly of the market for around 45 years. Swift are not going down without a fight. On the other hand, Ripple, I've got a new technology which is absolutely like wildfire around the world at the moment, and it still surprises me to actually, I can't comprehend with how many people don't actually know about it yet, especially where I live. I talk about it, people have never even heard of Ripple. It's completely under the fucking radar. How still, I do not know, but believe me, 2018 is going to be the year that all this changes. I'm telling you now, isn't it just a little bit coincidence how Swift have backdoored it on their own blockchain technology, but now they're telling people who send payment instructions will need to change their interfaces and business systems before 2018 November. If we all put the puzzle to the pieces, people, Ripple have got the technology that could credibly bring Swift to the ground. Swift, on the other hand, have had full monopoly over the market. They've got extensive financial resources. And, you know, Swift are not just going to give up on this market that easily. No way. There's not two ways about that. They will not just let this escape from their hands. So we've got Bearable Guy who's speaking about a deal that have been made. Is the deal with Swift and Ripple? Will Swift enable Ripple to use their clientele basis? I mean, let's think about this. Ripple working with 40 to 50 central banks. That substitutes to around 25% of the world's volume in respect to central banks. We've got Swift now that are trying to say that you need to integrate a new system onto the Swift technology if you want to continue to use that. A deal's just been made with Ripple. Who's the deal been made with Ripple? I personally believe that Swift and Ripple have come to some sort of agreement. I really do. I believe this is what's happening. I don't think Swift are going down without a fight. But at the end of the day, Swift will allow Ripple to integrate their current system to all Swift's clientele on that basis, and then obviously use the XRP as the exchange process going further into the future. I think this is the stepping stones of the big milestone hurdle, of the big marathon that we're actually making at the moment. I really do think this is very plausible. Me personally, I'm going to tag Bearable Guy in this on Twitter. I want to see if I'm anywhere close to what he's saying, but I don't think I've heard anybody yet on YouTube claiming this. And I think it's very plausible that Swift could possibly end up partnering with Ripple. That basically opens the gateway to the entire Swift clientele basis, where Ripple can integrate Xcurrent, which is obviously the messaging service on top. They can integrate that with all Swift, the payment. It can happen a lot sooner. Bear in mind, Beryl Guy has thrown out a price prediction of $589 at the end of this year. And with something as big as what I'm talking about, this is potentially how this could end up happening. We're talking about global use case now. We're talking about global adoption. It could very quite easily happen. The way that technology moves today is fucking at a flick of a fucking fingers in respect of information. That's what we're trying to do in respect of building the internet of value. And I believe with Ripple, they would be stupid to not take an offer from Swift if it was on this magnitude, and Swift would have to adopt a Ripple technology because they will become obsolete, they will become extinct, is probably the best way of putting it. That's my little touch on that. Again, like we say, we've got Apple integrating Ripple technology. You know, I'm getting an emotional hard on here actually speaking about this, people, because we all seen it coming. Everyone was always laughing in the face of XRP. In Ripple, shall I say, oh, they're only using Xcurrent, they're only using Xcurrent. Let's just have it out now. Without Xcurrent, there is no XRP. You know, at the end of the day, we need to build these passageways. We need to build this rapport with the banks. We need to build the trust with the technology. The XRP is there. It's easily adopted into the system, into the Xcurrent, as it only just acts as an exchange process. I've been a big Ripple follower for a long time. That's why I started making these videos. I watch a lot of stuff. I read a lot of stuff. I like to put information out to people out there. It's fucking great what's happening. I'm sorry about the swearing. Obviously, I'm excited. I'm in my van here. You can hear the van in the fucking background. You know, I'm busy. I work a lot. It's hard for me to get content out there, so I thought I'm bringing it with work today because I just can't keep sitting on this information. I've not posted for a while about Ripple, and I know there's a few people that follow specifically for this information and my, you know, my personal view on what I'm trying to say. But obviously, we got Santander. They've gone live. You know, they're promising instant payments by summer. They can only involve XRP. Santander will become the milestone bank to actually fully integrate Ripple for its Xcurrent and Xrapid settlement. It's going to be great. We've got Apple that are obviously starting to use Ripple. Bear in mind, Google was an early investor in Ripple, so it probably would not surprise me whatsoever if Google or Android Pay, whichever we want to call it, rolls out the same context of what Apple's doing. We've got talks about Samsung eyeing up blockchain technology as well. It would not surprise me if that was also the case for Samsung to roll out the same thing, to partner up with Ripple and get the ILP integrated into all the payment systems. If that's the case, and we've got Ripple on Apple, on Google and on Samsung, basically we can use Ripple wherever the fuck we want, people, in the micro payments sector in respect to that. You know, it's all opening. It's all not going to happen overnight, but believe me, with fucking hell, there's just so much shit to talk about. I'm waffling on now. I could fucking waffle on for hours, but I do need to obviously compress it into a fucking watchable video. But yeah, honestly, in respect to Swift, this blew me away when I read this yesterday. Banks who use Swift to send payment instructions will need to change their interfaces and business systems. What the fuck can this be? We've got a deal that's been made according to Bearable Guide behind the scenes. We're talking on large scale. We're working with 40, 50 central banks who will all be using the Swift system. You know, Swift are either going to have to adapt or they're going to go down. They've tried making their own blockchain. They've failed. They've turned their back on it. There's only one other option to go if they want to continue in being able to compete in this market, and it's with a Ripple partnership. And not a lot of people spoke about that, and it sounds ludicrous to even speak about, but in my mind, I can't help but think about that personally. I think it's great. I mean, I'm getting really excited, obviously, as this year we've got a lot of people talking about, you know, financial experts saying the bottom has been called now. It could potentially be a bull run till the end of the year where we'll surpass all them all-time highs, which I believe will absolutely fucking annihilate with Ripple in that respect. It would not surprise me whatsoever if Bearable Kai is calling a $589 Ripple at the end of this year. Then come on, we have to have it right. Let's listen. You know, Swift, if they integrated their system and they started using XRP as the exchange process, it is plausible. It really is fucking plausible. I mean, if you want to say that there's 40 billion XRP tokens out there, then you've got to start adding up, well, it's got to be 550 or 589 times 400 billion coins. Oh, it can't be possible. It's fucking trillions of dollars. let's have it right. We don't work market cap out like with Ripple. It's not a stock. It worked out in that respect whatsoever. Let's say there is 40 billion tokens out, and I know it is a little bit less than that, but you know, obviously we've got the escrow which is releasing them. So let's just use 40 billion. How many people like myself are out there that are hodling the fucking life out of Ripple? Let's have it right. I'm hodling the life out of it. I'm sure Ripple with their 6 billion will be hodling the life out of it. What have we actually got available? What have we got available? Because I'd like to put it down to a 4 or 5 billion maximum of what's available. You know, so at the end of the day, if you're going to start calculating all that market cap bullshit, this is how you've got to do it. If there's 4 billion tokens available, then times that by the 589 coins, and that'll be your real market cap, because it's not 40 billion times 597 will give you X amount, because by the time that it all starts getting sold, the price is going to come down. It doesn't work like that. Let's just have it right. At the end of the day, you could have a banana that's valued at £100 if it was at the right aspects, if it was in the right economy and in the right supply and demand chain. Let's just have that right. Speculation alone can blow values out the fucking roof of a fucking undervalued fucking asset. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to shut up. Anyway, I am going to shut up. So what I want to do is I do want to talk to you about technical analysis. I've been doing this for a very long time in that respect. As you can see with all experts in respect of call in the bottom here, it looks like a firm bottom has been reached there in that respect. I mean, obviously at the RSI point here, we was majorly oversold, and we took fuck off. We've obviously took a little bounce. We've come and we've rested, and we've shot right up. Obviously on the MACD chart as well, it showed a great respect of buy volume, which seems to be trickling down at the moment. So day chart of Ripple really does look like a reversal is under process at the moment. We've had a good probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days of positive market movement in favour for Ripple. It's fucking great news. It's absolutely great news. So obviously, as you can see here, this is the current price action where we are at the moment. But I want to show you a little bit of a bigger picture what I personally think is going on. It could may probably been better of yeah, well, we'll just leave it on this chart. We'll put it on the 4-hour chart actually, because you'll probably get a better picture of how it looks. Yeah, it looks better already. So we can see, I mean, personally, I can't help but think this at the time. Let me just get the paintbrush shot. I can see a cup on that cup and handle here, definitely forming. We've got obviously the cup shape that's come, and now we've got the handle, which is sort of trying to. It looks in respect to that, which we all know what happens after this. We'll have a massive outburst, absolutely massive outburst in this direction. I'm just going to break it down for you even again, just so you've got I mean, this is short-term movements we are talking about here, but if we do go on the hour chart from where Ripple has come from in that respect, so we can definitely all confirm we've had an absolutely massive impulse wave here. We've had it come up, it's come down, it's come up, and it's had the impulse here. So what we need to do first of all is where the impulse has started from. We'll put our retracement fib on from low to high, and as you can see, Ripple is absolutely sticking to this 0.382 Fibonacci retracement level. It's come up the first time, bounced down, and then it's pushed up into new territory, and obviously it's bounced back down off the 38% fib again. It's bounced back up, and it's not quite made it down this time, and it's come back up as a rally again. What happens with Ripple, unfortunately, we're pegged against Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes up, we go up in price. If Bitcoin goes down, we go down in price. But we have been seeing some sort of extra percentage gains from Ripple, which could potentially mean we've got people going through Bitcoin in order to buy Ripple, which is another positive sign. I genuinely think that we're in the cup and handle here. I really do think we are. And if we do go off the Fibonacci in respect to that, let's just get an extension to see exactly where we could be going here. So if we get an extension from the impulse from where we actually started, and we come to the top, and we go back to an extension, I think Ripple's next target, realistically, the best way of actually putting Ripple for its next target moving forwards is going to be quite substantial, to be fair. If we put it to, I mean, let's have a quick look where we could be going more than anything. They usually say an Elliott wave. Let me just do this first. You'll understand it a lot better. So Elliott wave. Usually, let's just get a little waves, the impulse wave first of all, because I think we are going through an impulse. Me personally, I think we are. So you'd have an impulse wave there. So we've retraced to 32%. Now, usually what they'll say is wave 3 will be the most impulsive when it does begin. in respect of that, and they'll say usually it'll be 2.6 times bigger than wave 1. So if we was to do that in a direction, you know, we are probably looking at around an impulse up here towards the dollar mark. It seems very far-fetched at the moment, and then we'll have the retracement, and then we'll probably carry on with the same length of what 1 is. It looks fucking ridiculous at the moment, but you know, I think we've reached the bottom from our impulse wave. We can't seem to push any below it. So, you know, we could have another impulsive wave coming forward, coming upwards. It's highly possible. It's highly possible, but I'm not counting that as my count. That's not my count. That's just fucking let's get you know, let's get it right. That's not my count in that respect, but it is very fucking possible. You know, at the moment, what we've got to really look at is we're obviously channeling here. If we get a regression trend and we go from this point here over to where. In the regression trend, we can see now we've just broke over the midpoint, which is used usually for a good short or long position. Obviously, every time that we cross, we've had the impulse that has shot up, it's touched the bottom, and then obviously it's come down, crash back down to where it's an overall trend upwards short term for Ripple. Again, it all depends on Bitcoin. Today we've got a tax season that is ending in America. Everyone seems to be talking about this. It's just everything's going in the respects of a cup and handle. We've like I say, we have had the formation. It's rolled out beautifully. I mean, people who will know about the cup and handle will know exactly what I'm talking about in respect to that. So obviously we've come down, we've come back up. This is the handle here now, and then we could potentially be now having this big break upwards. It's not gonna, you know, we can always determine whether it's going to go higher or lower. We can never determine it to the magnitude, unfortunately. Let's just delete that. It's still on. It shouldn't be. But we can never determine magnitude, but we can use technical analysis and fundamental analysis to always determine where is more likely to go. And as you can see here in respect to that, if we get a trend line up, we can also see the decrease in volume which is coming, which is working perfectly for how a cup and handle would work. Even though the price is maintaining, we are getting less and less volume, which supports the cup and handle could potentially be ready for an explosive outbreak. It's fucking, I'm just loving Ripple at the moment. It's actually nice to talk about Ripple when they're bullish for once, you know. We've been speaking about Ripple, we're bearish. We've been speaking as positive as we can about Ripple when we've been being bearish. You know, it's just nice to be able to actually have, in respect, you know, just some fucking great news, really. I mean, every week there's something to talk about. If you want to think about where Ripple's next moving points could be, well, let's put it in respect of this now. So we've got Ripple. It's had a good trend, the cup and handle. If we are to break out from where we do think we will break out, where I think we've got a breakout coming very shortly, in that respect, our target areas we really want to be looking at now are going to be around here, which is going to be sort of the 50% with the extension in respect to that, and then obviously on top of that we've then got the 1628, which are very good key levels I think to be looking at moving forward for Ripple over the next possibly week or two, maybe the next week. So if we take away our retentions, these are our target lines here, as we can say, from our next. But if we are to break our resistance here at the top, which we've obviously found, we've bounced back off the 32% fib retracement, which is a good sign. We've come back down again, and then we quite couldn't do it. So I think we're possibly going to see a break to the upside here very shortly. We're on the 17th of April. I think anywhere in between this period, which is the 20th, anywhere between the 20th and the 23rd, I'd like to see us at either the 72 cents or at the 76 cents, and I think that'll be a good support level for us to next find moving forwards. Again, it all depends on Bitcoin, unfortunately, but I do think we are getting a little bit more decouping away from Bitcoin. Yeah, we're far from that, but the more exchanges that do the XRP fiat exchanges, for example, XRP to the dollar, XRP to the pound, XRP to the euro, we will completely separate from Bitcoin, and we can do what we want to do as a cryptocurrency moving forwards. So I think these are our two key levels really to be looking at over the next week or so. Don't get me wrong, we could see an absolutely disgusting impulse come out. It wouldn't surprise me at the moment, but I need to be conservative with what I'm saying. I really do think we'll see Ripple around the 76 mark over the next especially over the next week. But depending how far, if Bitcoin rips up another 1,000, we could take these up to 85 cents. I think we're moving forwards now. I think bottom has been called. There's a lot of technical specialists, fundamental analysis that are saying that the bottom's been called. We've got the tax season that is ending today. It's just good news. It's nice to see Ripple moving forwards. Again, we've had all the positive news, but we've never seen the price moving with it. But who can tell what can come at the end of the year? I mean, Bearable Guy's calling $589, ladies and gentlemen. What is that meaning for XRP? Swift have just told all their customers that they need to implement new technology on their interfaces. What does that mean? Come on, fucking hell. Wake the fuck up, world. Wake up, because it's happening and it is leaving no fucking hostages. The revolution has begun. The knock-on effect is happening, and believe me, this technology, blockchain, with the way that information moves today, it is going to happen a lot faster than what people can expect. We've not just got Silicon Valley that are repping blockchain, we've got an entire fucking world that are opening their minds to blockchain, and it is still under the radar. The reason why I talk about this as passionately as I do, because you've got to be a fucking idiot to not think that XRP. People say, oh, it's not decentralized, oh, it's a fucking banker's coin, well, let me just tell you one thing now, positively, all you Bitcoin bum chums. Listen, banks are going nowhere, governments are going nowhere. If you want something to flourish and grow as a technology, you need to work with the system, which is what Ripple have always done. Let's get it right, that's a fact. Listen, governments can burn Bitcoin to the fucking ground. We've seen it happen before. We can see it again. China, all they need to say is, oh, Bitcoin's banned. Oh, boom, 30% of fucking Bitcoin gone. You know, let's have it right. Come on. Let's have it fucking right, people. XRP is a great technology. It's got over 150 banks on board. It's working with 50 central banks. I personally believe behind doors, Swift, I made a fucking deal with Ripple. So Swift do not go burning to the ground, because it's game over for Swift. Let's have it. You know, blockchain technology is the biggest disruptor for Swift, and people who've got money, you know, I believe people like Rothschild, like Rockefellers, like Soros, they're all involved with Swift. It's all big. It's money. Money talks, people. Money talks. And at the end of the day, blockchain ain't going nowhere. Swift needs to. They need to do something about it, and I think a deal has been made. I personally think a deal has been made. I could just be chatting a load of shit. You know, I'm entitled to my own opinion, but I believe people are, you know, if you want to connect the dot themselves, just fucking do it. Swift have failed the blockchain. They now tell them that they need to change all their interface and business systems before November 2018. That fixing perfectly bearable, guys. $589 fucking dollar prediction, people. You know, just fucking think about it. Santander alive now, the first bank in the world, 18th largest banking institution worldwide. We told you about this, that was going to happen in February. Obviously, it was a fucking bear market. No one give a shit about it, but guess what? It's happened. And guess what? By summertime, they'll be using XRP. You know, oh, they're never going to use XRP, they say. Well, guess what? Santander will be using it, because if they want instant payments, it's the only way they can do it. MoneyGram are going to be using it. Walmart are going to be using it. Western Union are going to be using it. And believe me, Swift do have something to do about this, and they have got a deal with Ripple where they can say to their customers, we can do everything instantaneously if you use this digital asset XRP, and they're getting a cut of the pie. Oh yeah, by November 2018. I'm not trying to say it's going to be fucking mass adopted by then, but if we're all going off what Bearable Guy's saying, is he a legit source? I fucking love the guy, mate, because he's keeping the XRP community on the feet. Do you know what I mean? It's easy to try and burn something to the ground, but as the community for XRP, we're too strong. We don't care. We see the vision. We know where it's going. We're going to hold hands and so for fucking 5 years if it takes. If it takes 10 years, we're going to huddle. We're going to keep hold of that XRP. So when people start throwing out these, oh, for it to get to $589, it's going to be 400 billion XRP times by that. No, it's not. Shut the fuck up and stop chatting shit. It's got nothing to do with that. At the end of the day, it's the money that's on the exchanges that's being traded that gives value to the coin or the asset. So let's have it right. Let's just say 2, 3 or 4 billion may potentially be available supply, not total supply. A 40 billion supply is not available supply. Let's have it right. It's the money that's being passed through exchanges which determines the price. So 2 billion XRP could easily create a $589 coin, and that unfortunately is the way that it works. Yeah, its market cap might be showing out 20 odd trillion, but you start trying to sell XRP, you'll never get 20 trillion for the full amount, because as you're selling it, the price comes down, so the market cap comes down. Stop using the market cap calculations, people. It's fucking happening. It's happening. It's happening. Peace out.
Do you feel the vibes?